Hey, you guys, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Liz, and this is the Besties in the Books podcast. Welcome.
Ooh.
Welcome to our show.
This place and show and things and stuff. Welcome.
Welcome
to Besties in the Books podcast.
Woo!
Where we're clearly organized.
Yeah. We really
our
are,
lives.
though.
We are.
Which is crazy. It's like, I think about that all the time. I'm like, we're actually really organized. That's a whole feat within itself.
Yeah.
So today, we are going to be doing our second installment of Bookish Unpopular Opinions.
Ooh.
Which you guys sent in. So this is
Yeah.
super, super exciting. You guys sent in plenty of bookish unpopular opinions for us to choose from. So we will be going through all of your guys' that you sent over to us on Instagram. So just so you know, no spoilers today.
None.
If there happen to be like any little ones, we'll make sure to let you know, like if the unpopular opinion is about a specific book or something like that. But for the most part, I'd say you're safe.
Yeah.
Safe to stick around.
Yeah.
But first, we just wanted to say thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for being here, you guys. We know how hard it is to take time out of your day and your book to come take a little listen to us. And as you'll notice, throughout this, I don't even know what episode number this is going to be, but you guys, we're in it. We're doing it. And as you see, there's like a rhythm with our madness. Like there's a little bit of organization. Like we said, well, there's a lot. We try to do every other episode, like not specific books. We do a book specific and then a not book specific. That way, if you haven't read a book, you can still enjoy a podcast without spoiling. But just remember, the first 15 minutes are always going to be spoiler free, even if it's book specific. So don't be scared. Yeah. And also, let's get real. It's usually the first half of the episode at this point.
We say 15 minutes, but we just kind of let ourselves talk as long as we feel like it, for the most part. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about specific things. And also, do we go on tangents? It's great. So if you want more of this, make sure that you are following. You can subscribe over on YouTube channel if you want to see some more visual aids and such. But follow anywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcast. And if you want to be a part of this crowdsourcing community that we have, that we pulled you guys in on, in these unpopular opinions, you can go to Instagram at Besties in the Books podcast and TikTok as well at Besties in the Books pod. But that's where you can get this extended content. That's where you can participate more in the polls, in the question boxes that we got, where we can throw it out to you guys, you, the viewers and listeners, of what we're going to talk about, what's going on, what's your unpopular opinions. Let us react to it. Let's discuss.
It makes us feel like the conversation is going both ways.
Yeah, it's not just like one-sided between two of us. It's a community outreach program. I don't know.
It's a triangle.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. I was like, it's technically not a one-sided conversation because we are talking. So that's two sides. Yeah. So it's three. So it's literally the triangle of communication. The circle of trust, if you will.
The triangle of trust and friendship and besties and books.
Welcome into it. All. Yeah.
Yeah. So be a part of it. Just do it. Every Tuesday.
We're happy
and more.
To have you here. Yeah, exactly. Every Tuesday and more. Yeah. I wonder if at this point we'll have more. I don't know yet.
I think at this point we do. Because
that's exciting.
We're pre-filming quite a bit right now because we're going to be going on a nice little cruise together later. Yeah. So you'll get some bonus content there too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
So, all right.
Let's get into the faves and fails.
Yeah, faves and fails of the week. So this week, they are not themed. They are just regular. I'm just laughing because sometimes the notes that I make myself are just like really funny because it's just whatever will trigger my memory, but are sometimes quite nonsensical. And so I put for my fave of the week, it was a double date night and Kanan, who's my husband, was eating stuff. That's literally what I put.
That's the best thing out of the week.
That's it. Yeah. So anyway, to explain, my fave of the week was that my husband had a long weekend this last weekend, so he was home a lot more than he normally is. And so we ended up going to Friday Night Market, which we went to when you were up visiting last summer.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's like a downtown thing where like all the like downtown stores are open late, but then there's also like a lot of street vendors and like food trucks and whatever.
Oh, did he eat the barbecue oysters?
Yes, that's why I put.
Did he find the good ones again?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Because I remember he tried it after we left, and it wasn't the same people, and it wasn't as good.
Yeah,
but he found it.
Yeah. So that was like Kanan eating stuff, part one. It's just I feel like I almost get more joy out of like having him be happy about finding the stuff that he wants than like me finding. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like so fun to like watch him get so excited about it. I'm like, okay,
that's cute.
I'm like, I'm a vegan. I don't get it. I've never eaten an oyster in my entire life, but I'm so glad that you like them. So glad.
You know, it's they're not for everyone, but those of us who love them, oh boy, howdy, they're special.
So that's
like, what makes them special is that they're occasional too. So
yeah, it's not all the time, and like this particular like food vendor, like they don't have any social media or anything, so it's not like we can even like look them up to find out where they're gonna be. They just are where they are when they're there. You know what I mean?
They're either there or they're not.
Yeah, like if it's meant to be, we'll guess it. You know what I mean? It's like that's exactly what it is. And so that was fun. We did that on Friday night, and then we went and got. I'm like, what did we do? I feel like we went and got me some sort of treat, too. I think we got, like, an ice cream cone, maybe. I can't remember. But anyways, so we did that. Then on Sunday, we went out again because the fair, or maybe that was Saturday. Guys, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what day it is. No, so it was Saturday. We ended up going to the fair because the fair's in town, and it was the same thing. Like, Kanan literally wanted to go eat a funnel cake, like that. And again, like, I'm vegan. Like, the options I have available at the fair for me are, like, is there anything? You know what I mean? Like, probably not. So
French fries.
Yeah, like I got a pretzel, which was okay. I wanted to get some tots, and they were sold out. I'm like, you're sold out? It's like 1:30, but whatever. So, so that was fun because of the fact that, he got to, like, eat his funnel cake, and he said it was amazing, and it's, like, you know, the one time a year, if that he'll, like, get it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, that was my, like, fave of the week, was just doing 2 date nights or date days or whatever you want to call them in one weekend, which is so fun. And then, Kanan getting to, like, eat his treats. Oh, I will say, after the fair, I do remember that after the fair, okay, and this is kind of crazy because I've been on, like, an ice cream kick. Like, if you open my freezer, there's probably right now at least, I'd say 6 pints of ice cream.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know, and I like to have variety. It is what it is.
Yeah, and when you find one that you like, and it's the summer, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All the reasons.
I've got, like, vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry for any of you following my Game of Thrones Sunday making on Sundays. And then I have my Americone Dream, which is my favorite flavor, if you guys haven't tried it, from Ben & Jerry's. And then they came out with some, I don't know, like, new flavor that I got that looked good or whatever. Anyways, I have a bunch of ice cream. But Kanan still drove me across town to get a cone from my favorite ice cream place after we went to the fair. Because the fair didn't have any ice cream I could have either. Yeah. So that was really fun.
Cute.
Yeah. It was a good weekend. It was a fun weekend. My fail of the week is so stupid. So last week, I, like, bumped my head. Okay, here's the thing. I don't remember how I did it, but I, like, bumped my head.
You bumped your head, so you don't remember. How hard did you hit it?
Not that hard. Like, literally not that hard.
So you think.
But I ended up with, like, a bump on my head on, like, the right side right here. You can't see it anymore.
Oh, like a little baby.
Yeah. Like, literally, it was so weird. Okay. So that happened. So then that finally, like, gets better. And I'm like, okay, that bump is gone. That's cool. And then, like, I don't know, I want to say it was on either Friday night or Saturday night, I was, like, walking into my bathroom, but it was dark, and I, like, crashed into, like, the side of my bathroom door, but it got me on the other side. So now
even out.
Yeah, so it's, like, you can't see it, but, like, because I have makeup on right now, but literally it's, like, this whole, like, above my left eyebrow is all, like, bruised right now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's my fail, is, like, I don't know what's going on, but twice in, like, 1
week.
I
told my daughters, I'm like, oh, you must be growing. You're 36, you're getting taller. Sorry, you're 35 still. 35 and getting taller.
Yeah, I don't
anytime
know.
they're bumping into stuff, that's what's happening. It's like their sense of space is changing.
Yeah, I don't know that that's my excuse. I don't know what my excuse is, but it's not good. And twice in 1 week.
Oh, geez.
Both sides of the head.
And those I've had a bump as an adult, like at least one time that I remember, and it was because I hit my head on like a stupid cabinet that I had just opened, you know, and I felt that thing in my hairline for like weeks. It was so annoying. So I feel your pain.
Yeah. So those are my faves and fail of the week. Oh, I do want to give like a little shout out though. I should have included this in my faves, but I just like whatever. Yeah. It's like a separate thing, but I did want to give a shout out to one of our followers, listeners, who's also an author herself, Kara Reynolds. Her paperback, Priestess, just came out. So it's on KU, but the paperback just became available as well. So I ordered my copy. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to read this. I think this is going to be my nomination for July Book Club, which we need to vote on at some point soon. But yeah, so Priestess by Kara Reynolds. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. And there's our little shout out of the day. Yay.
Yeah, mine's on the way. It's supposed to be here tomorrow.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
I love it.
So excited. Cool. All right.
So, what are your faves and fails of the week this week?
My faves and fail of the week. Well, let's start with my fave. So we also, too, went on a date. We went and saw Homegrown, you guys. Those of you who were in the punk scene of yesteryear. The early 2000s. Homegrown came back for their first tour since, or not tour, sorry, but first show since not having them for how long? A long
while.
Time. 15 years. So we saw them. They weren't even the headliners, but they were at, it's not Nokia Theater anymore, but it's next to, the Staples Center. So whatever it's called now. So it's still a really good venue, kind of House of Bluesy inside. Starting Line was actually the headliners.
Oh, okay.
Guys, people were there for Homegrown. So I loved that for them, because my husband grew up with the guys and would help them with some of their shows and things. So he knows the bands and stuff. So we got to talk to them and see them and everything. And they had a merch table, right? So we see the Starting Line merch table when you get in, and there's a little line, whatever. You go inside of the venue, and I'm so glad their merch table was inside, because the line for their merch was out the door. So they're on the opposite end of the venue, so the side stage, all the way in front of the long bar. So think of House of Blues set up like that. And they had to move everybody, because they weren't expecting that to be that crazy, to outside. And it took 45 minutes. So almost the whole first set that was before Homegrown for us to get through the line. Because we're dude, we want to get, so my husband said they never even really had much merch to, back then. So, we wanted to get a piece of that nostalgia. So that was awesome. And they even had a second, as soon as they were done playing, that line went right back. Yeah. So people were there, and the energy when they were playing was just so cool to see. And all the guys are so nice. So
that's
Jeff
awesome.
And I actually, we got a t-shirt for you, and he went and had all the members sign it for you.
What?
All 4 members. So so that's gonna be yours. And it's personalized. So you have the. That's so good! Yay! Jeff's actually here watching. He's been waiting to see your reaction.
Oh, thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah. So he's been he cannot keep a secret to save his life. So he's wanting me to call you that night. It was 1:00 in the morning. No, I'm not gonna call her. But he's I don't know, just send it, just something. Just send it to her. And I was I don't know if we want you to have to carry it on the cruise and stuff. So he's so he had the idea. He's why don't you show her when you're filming? I was oh, that's a great idea.
That's perfect.
So I'm going to tell you some of the stuff. So Johnny Trash, wrote to Liz, and he wrote a little smiley face in the corner. They said, to Liz, I love you, from Adam. And then, Liz, you're amazing. Oh, sorry. Whatever. They're all mixed up in there. And the shirt is so cool, too.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
awesome.
Got signed.
Thank
and
you.
A shirt. And you're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Jeff he's good. He's so good at this stuff, because he's doesn't she have a signed album? I was yeah.
I do.
So he's she needs a signed t-shirt too. So
I feel
gotta
so
get that to you.
special. I feel so special.
That was our favorite. And he was on a mission, so it was so cute. He's I know they're coming back out, so because when we first were talking to them, obviously we didn't have the merch yet, so we couldn't have sign this real quick. So he's can you guys sign this for my friend and everything? So it's good.
Oh,
it's
cool.
so cute.
I love that. Yeah, I have a new fave of the week. Sorry, Kanan. Just kidding.
It's that. Well, this is a new week, so it's a fave this week.
It's true.
Yeah.
I love that. Aww.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad. Okay, this one. Okay, so my fail of the week, it's so stupid and first world problems for sure, but it's funny to me. Okay. So my husband, Jeff, has a really nice car, right? We love it. You've driven in it. We went to the When We Were Young Fest. We drove in it.
Yep.
Long drives in it. Okay? It's a really nice car. He's had it for over a year now, and we just figured out this weekend that there are seat massagers in the seat.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Back massagers. So we already knew they're heated, right? Golly, you know how many road trips I could have been using that on? I'm that person that, like, unless it's hot outside, my seat warmer will be on because I like the heat on my back. It feels so good. So add a freaking massager to that mix. Oh, nice. Golden. It's so nice. So, like, it was so funny because the same day, I don't drive his car very often. Like, I can count on one hand how many times I drove it. And that same morning, I accidentally pushed that button because I was trying to set my seat. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I thought his heat, because this heat seater is in the middle. But I didn't, I kind of ignored it. I was like, whatever. I didn't, and I turned it back off because it was hot. So, later that same day, I don't remember, we were just driving around. And then he's like, what's this button? So he happened to push it the same day I pushed it.
That's
and
so
then
weird.
On the screen, it popped up like different massaging modes and everything. So our fail is that we've spent a year of our lives not living this car to its full potential. It's amazing.
I love it.
So
that is amazing.
Glad to have it now, but lots of trips could have been had with that. Yeah, what a treat.
What a treat.
What a treat.
What a surprise.
So, what a surprise. Yep. All right.
All right. So should we get into these unpopular bookish opinions?
Let's do it. I think we're ready, guys.
I think we are ready. Okay. So if you guys have listened to our episode 1 of this, it wasn't episode 1, but it was just episode 1 of this unpopular bookish opinions. I like to ease us in with an easy one because then it's like we can get into the serious stuff. After this first one. Okay.
So serious. An icebreaker of an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Like something that, is just like an easygoing thing. So the first one I put on here, and again, like I said, these are all from you guys, so thank you again for sending these in. I thoroughly enjoy cracking my book spines.
Well, I know that for me, I have no opinion on this.
Oh, really?
I have nothing. I didn't even know that was a thing until I got into the Bookstagram world. I didn't know that where people go up in arms over the cracking or not cracking of the spines. Like, it gives people a visceral reaction. And for me, I'm like, I don't know. I don't care.
My thing is, like, I feel like it's not that I don't enjoy cracking a book spine, because I do. It's like, I like it when you can have a good paperback that'll just like lay on the counter.
A floppy. Yeah.
A floppy. Yeah, exactly. My issue is that then when you're done and you go to put it back into your shelf, it's all crackly. Like it looks crackly, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because then it bothers me. Like, I don't remember, one of my ACOTAR books is like that. I can't remember which one. But I think it might be the first one. And it just kind of like, I have... Like, how many ACOTAR sets do I have? I have two ACOTAR sets, but still, it's like bothers me when I look at that one. It's like all I do is like zero in on that one. And I'm like, oh, dang, I wish you didn't look like that. But then at the same time, I'm like, but it means that I enjoyed reading it. And I was like in the moment, So that's how I feel about it. I enjoy it, but it's a love-hate relationship I have with it.
Do you purposely go in and crack them? Because I know some people do that.
No way. No
way, Jose. So if it happens, like, you're kind of like, oh, bummer.
Yeah, like if I wasn't invested so much in like the aesthetics of like how my books look once I'm done reading them on my shelf, like then I think I would go around and do it. Like I feel like if just
cracking.
Or I wouldn't be like as careful when I'm reading them.
Yeah.
I would say that my like nonfiction collection probably is a lot more like crackly and used looking, because those aren't necessarily there for me to also like visually enjoy like once I'm done reading them. They're more there for like references later,
Yeah. See, I think for me, I'm like that with hardcovers. Like, I want them to, like, I get sad if they get like a little worn looking after reading them, because they're kind of more my trophy books. Yeah. Where paperbacks, I usually buy knowing that I'm gonna wreck them in some degree, not ruin them, but they're gonna be worn and loved,
Yeah.
So, I don't want to get water on them or anything like that, but if they're cracked a little bit, it's fine. And then, but my hardcovers, I get sad. They don't really crack the same way, right? But if they start looking,
If something happens,
they're rough, That's just how I see it. But there is, I will, if I'm going to use bookstore, I'm probably not going to buy it if they have all those billions of creases in there.
Yeah.
Even though it's very well loved and I'm happy for the book.
I'm happy for the book and its journey.
I'm not going to want to, you can't even see the title at this point. A lot of that one dude, Tom Clancy or whatever, all his books always end up doing that, I see. Because all his books are always at the isn't that his name?
Yes, it totally is. I love that, out of all the authors, you're like, Tom Clancy has some cracked spines. He's got some cracked book spines.
Maybe his quality, his books aren't that good, or maybe people are reading them really aggressively. Maybe it's really white knuckling.
I think, because I'm trying to see. Yeah, I think it's because of the fact that most of them are the paperbacks are kind of small because they're those mystery, suspense detective books. I have a few. Shout out to, who is it? Robert Crace. Okay, so we actually have some back here. I'll grab them for visual aids. So they're these little paperbacks like this, and they definitely have the little cracked spines. If anyone wants to get into reading detective novels that are actually good, Robert Crace has amazing books. I've read almost all of his books, and they're great. So anyways, something outside of our genre.
But that style will
crack
all
super
along
easy.
All along it. I don't see it happening a lot these days with the newer paperback books I buy. Maybe because they're more matte now. I don't know. We could probably talk for half an hour about book aesthetic.
Yeah, so
but we should move on.
We'll put all these up to your guys' votes too, just like we did last time, so you can let us know, agree, disagree, what you think. Do you like to crack your book spines or not? Let us know. Okay, so why don't we...
It's going to be polarizing. I know. Well, let me ask you this, because I'll ask them this too.
Okay.
Are you a book folder? You know, when you're reading?
No.
Oh, see, I am. Not with you can't even do it with hardcovers. With paperbacks, I will fold it when it's just the right amount of pages, a little bit, at the beginning. You're folding,
I'll only do that if I have a book that I've had forever that's a paperback that's already super messed up because it's really old and I've had it forever. Let's say I'm rereading it, I might fold it then, maybe. Yeah. But that's
once it gets that loosey goosey feeling. Yeah. So you guys let us know. When I say folding, I don't mean dog earing. Although we should ask that too. I don't dog ear.
I have done that. I feel like I'm confessing to a crime.
I have done that. I have not had sexual relations with that woman.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Perfect.
Oh,
you guys are all doing it too.
Yeah. I was it pained me to say it. Because
we'll put you on blast. Well, I'm a folder, so it's okay. I'm a cover folder.
I feel on the very, very rare occasion, it has to be the perfect storm of events. So it has to be I don't have a bookmark, I don't have a highlighter, I don't have anything to annotate with, and for some reason I'm reading an actual book and not an ebook. And I have nothing. There's no pin. I'm what do I do? I have to remember where this quote is, or else it's going to drive me to madness. Then I will dog ear a page. But 99.99% of the time I have something there with me, or what I've started doing now, hello, work smarter, not harder, is I'll just take a picture on my phone of the quote.
Yeah, that's good.
So that I can remember it for later. But before I figured out to do that, I was what do I do? What do I do? And then I would, under duress only. Under duress.
It's you're being interrogated.
Yes, because it's so fundamentally against my beliefs.
I know, because you're not a cover folder, but you're a dog ear. Okay.
Only under duress, I said. So then I would do it, but it's extreme conditions only, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud.
I can tell. Not my proudest moment. See, for me, if like it happens a lot when I first am reading a book. I haven't committed to a bookmark yet because I'm an idiot and don't like think to like throw a bookmark in there real quick. I'll be like, well, if it's meant to be, I'll find it again. Or I'll be like, I'll remember page 55.
Oh yeah, right.
Nope, I'll go to page 50 and have to like read. Wait, I've read this. No, I've read this. And for like 10 minutes, I'm trying to figure out where I left off. And that's just I'm like, well, it's what's done is done. It's not meant to be. I'm supposed to reread this.
Yeah.
All
right.
Well, do you feel better? You got that off your chest, or do you feel worse?
I kind of feel worse.
You guys getting things off your chest is not all it's cracked up to be. No. You heard it here.
Keep it inside.
Keep it inside. Bury it deep and under that icy lake.
Oh, I love it. Oh man.
Okay. Let me use my eyes here.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. I liked House of Flame and Shadow. I think it was exactly as advertised. I think people were expecting a finale type book, but it's really just the middle of the series. So House of Flame and Shadow, for those who don't know, is the third book in the Crescent City series. You have House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, and the recent House of Flame and Shadow that came out in February of 2024.
Yep.
So they're saying they liked it.
Okay.
What do you think about this?
I think that they're right to say that it's an unpopular opinion because I think a lot of people were disappointed by this book because there was such hype surrounding it and such a buildup at the cliffhanger of House of Sky and Breath that I think that it let a lot of us down in a lot of ways, and so it was like a little bit disappointing. But I think at the same time, they're right. Like, they are right in their assessment that it was a middle book and that we shouldn't have expected it to give us all the answers, solve all the problems, etc., because it isn't, like, there's still more to be told.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can see both. I can see both sides of this one.
It's one of those things that it's like it's hard. You're not gonna please everybody, and a lot of people were not pleased from coming off of Sky and Breath. That was just an epic ending. So we're trying not to spoil anything, obviously, but we also didn't know if there were going to be more books or not. Like you were under the opinion or assumption or whatever something you saw made you feel like this is going to be it, guys. So that if that's going to be it, that sucks.
Yeah.
You
totally.
know? But
we've
we've uncovered some more information that Sarah J. Maas herself has said on an interview that it's like, well, there's 4 houses and there's only 3 books so far with the house as the name.
Yeah.
So there's going to be another one. And I mean, we have to think about ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. Like, there's a few books in there that it's like, it can make you feel like, well, maybe not Throne of Glass, just ACOTAR. It could feel like that's the end. Court of Wings and Ruin. You know, it might not continue, or even Frost and Starlight, but it continues. So that's kind of, if we look at it from that lens, I'd be curious to see how I feel about it, you know, in a few years if I do a reread, you know, maybe wait until the next book comes out and then I would want to read a 4th one and then do a reread, you know, to see how I feel about book 3, because it might totally change my opinion.
Exactly. And that's kind of how I feel. It's like once the series is completed, you know, that would be like getting upset because, you know, thinking that the ending of Throne of Glass is like Tower of Dawn. Do you know what I mean? It obviously wouldn't make any sense. And you'd be like, what? Like, what's going on? We have so many things we need to figure out and answer. I think that so I would say I agree that we all put very high expectations on this book. And then in a lot of ways, we didn't get the payoff we wanted to, but maybe we weren't meant to. Maybe it served the purpose it was supposed to. Maybe when we do a reread later on down the line, once the whole series is done, it will make perfect sense and we'll be like, oh yeah, great. Like, this was great. It was exactly what it was meant to be. To play devil's advocate here. I felt personally, and like, if you're really wanting
victimized,
I felt personally victimized by this book. Seriously though, as someone who, you know, Crescent City is my favorite series in the SJM universe, I felt personally victimized by the character development in book 3. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
If you want to know more information, you should listen to our Crescent City episodes. Because we don't want to give anything
really
away.
Get it
here.
all off our chest, and we feel kind of better about it.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But that's my issue. I feel like in order to recover from the character issues I had with book 3, we have to make some serious changes in book 4.
And it might come around again in book 4, because while a lot of things did get answered, as always, there's still some things left to answer. And the ending, like, we had a lot. It pulled us out a lot of times, and it was just very, cheesy and such. Yeah. So I'll link that video down in the description box if you haven't seen it yet and you want to know more and you don't mind to be spoiled, because it's full of spoilers, obviously. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Only listen if you have read it or don't care to. Basically,
yeah. So you can know what we're talking about. So have context, because we got thoughts on that one for sure. But I also will never fault anybody for liking a book that maybe we had issues with ever. So I'm totally okay.
Yeah.
That whoever sent that to us, you liked it. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Well, and truthfully,
there are parts that I liked.
Truthfully,
I loved the experience.
Yeah, me too. And I think that this is and I think I've said this before, but it's a case of like the straight A student syndrome. You know what I mean? It's like we're being so hard on how, on this book, on House of Flame and Shadow, but really I rated it a 4-star. I think you did too. Yeah. It's like it's still a 4-star read, because I think the lowest I've ever rated an SJM book is a 4-star. So it's like, in the grand scheme of things, it's still a great read. It just didn't live up to all of the expectations we had for it. So, and who knows, like you said, what might happen once the series is complete. It might be a completely different story. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Your turn. Batter up.
Okay. So the next one is specific to, we have some like, romancy questions, and so these are 2 books that I've read but Ashley hasn't read, but we're going to still answer them anyway. Okay. Yep. And I bunched these together for that reason. So these are 2 different unpopular opinions sent in by 2 different people, but I felt like they were similar enough to where we could address them at once. So the first one is H.G. Carlton's writing style makes me cringe. Unpopular opinion number 1. Unpopular opinion number 2, the spicy scenes in Butcher and Blackbird were a little meh for me.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will say both of these books I have listened to on audio.
Okay.
And I have bought the physical copies because I love them both so much. And I've read / are reading the sequels. So.
Okay. So it's Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other books that we know of that she's written?
I haven't read anything else by Brynn Weaver. No, I don't know. She may have other books.
Oh, those are 2 different people.
Yeah.
Those are 2 different. Yeah.
So,
okay, sorry. Those 2 different authors. My mistake.
So, Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark, those are written by Brynn Weaver. I haven't read anything else by her, but it's quite possible she's read or written a bunch of other books. I don't know. H.G. Carlton, she wrote Haunting and Hunting Adeline.
Oh, okay.
And then I've read everything else that she's written aside from Shallow River, just because I haven't had a chance to get around to it yet. But, I've read all of her other books and really enjoyed them. So, do you have anything to say about these, or do you want me to just kind of like briefly kind of give my 2 cents on what I think about them?
Well, I can't comment on the writing style because I've read nothing from H.G. Carlton. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you take that away. Let's address that one first.
And I don't know that you should.
Dark romance so far hasn't really been my thing, so I'm not in any rush to do it. Yeah. So, maybe one day I'll change my mind, because curiosity, but I'm just not curious enough.
I feel like it would be fun.
I got the gist of it from you.
I feel like it'd be fun to read it, because then we could talk about it on the podcast. That would be funny, because I feel like you'd have a completely different opinion than me, and so that would make it hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm surprised myself.
There you go. It's true.
That's a 2025 problem.
Yeah.
I don't got time on my book list this year to even bother with it.
I have actually recently been thinking about doing a reread of Haunting and Hunting Adeline, because I love them so much, and it's been a while. But anyways, so writing style, H.G. Carlton's writing style makes me cringe. I would say that I disagree with that. I don't find it cringy, but to give you the benefit of the doubt, I could completely understand how some people would find it cringy.
Yeah, because I mean, and then cringy in which way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like probably like the way that the like love scenes are written would be my assumption, because of the fact that that's like a vast majority. Like, it's dark romance through and through. It's not like it's not like a thriller with romance in it. It's like a dark romance with a little bit of plot sprinkled on in. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I would say that's probably what I would think that they were talking about. I disagree, but that's because that could vary from person to person, because everyone's going to like those writing styles differently. Something that, you know, I might find completely cringy, other people just like eat it up. Like the Ravenhood trilogy, for example, I found extremely cringy, and so many people love that. So,
yeah,
you know. And then also, like I said, I listened to the audio, and you know, Zayd, the main character in Haunting Adeline, is voiced by Teddy Hamilton, who, in my opinion, is one of the best audiobook narrators for guys out there. So I really enjoyed him. And then to circle it back around to Butcher and Blackbird, you know, I felt like Butcher and Blackbird was a little bit less like... I think that people expected it to be a little bit darker because it's the one about the serial killers who fall in love.
Yeah.
And it was a rom-com about serial killers. And so the spicy scenes were definitely a little bit lighter than like I would assume when you're talking about two serial killers. So I'm wondering if maybe that's kind of like the disconnect there, is that people are expecting it to be very, very dark and like intense, kind of like Haunting Adeline would be. And it's not. Yeah. It's a little bit more like fun and playful. I rated it like a 3 spice or something like that.
Yeah. What you go into a book like expecting can really, I think, alter your opinion of how you end up liking
100%.
it. You know, when it's a viral, it was a viral book on Bookstagram, and you know the sequel came out so shortly after that. You know, you're gonna have I think a lot of people were expecting Hunting Adeline style.
Yeah, and like for me, I wasn't expecting anything. I was told by a couple different people that I would love that book, and I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna try listening to it, and then I can't remember, but. Oh, this is going to drive me crazy. Joe Arden, that's who it is. So Joe Arden is the one that did the main voice for the main male voice in Butcher and Blackbird, if I'm remembering correctly. And he's also really good. So I think that can also like really affect how you perceive a book too, if the audio is really good. So, you know, I really enjoyed it. I didn't go into it with any sort of expectations at all because I had no clue. I'm like, okay, a rom-com, we'll see how much I like this. So I was pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I could see that if you're expecting something like really dark and intense, then it probably wouldn't pay off in that way because it was meant to be a rom-com. So I get it. I get both of it, but I'm on part 5 of the Mind F series that I'm finishing out. And then I've got Leather Lark queued up to listen to next. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. So those are my 2 cents on those unpopular opinions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's my coupon deal of free opinions of something I didn't participate in. I don't know.
Coupon deals. Yes, I love it.
You guys let us know what you thought of those, though.
Yeah.
Let us know. Yeah. All right, next unpopular opinion. Love babies and kids, but hate surprise pregnancy trope. I think most people agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. From what I see, at least in our community, most of us do not love the surprise pregnancy trope. So, but there's going to be a section of people that do love it.
You know what's interesting is I feel like I don't love it generally either. However, there's definitely been a time or two when someone has ended up pregnant in a book that I really enjoyed and it didn't bother me.
Name it.
I don't want to because I don't want to give anything away. Oh, I don't want to give anything away. Yeah. Well, can I just say like the series name and then like no one needs to know who gets pregnant, right? Because it's so vague.
But then they're expecting it, and then what if they hate that trope and they won't read it just because
I know.
of it?
It's
If
too
you
hard.
love that
It's
series.
too hard. I know.
It's too hard. We can't do it. We can't do it, guys.
But there has been exceptions to the rule, is what I'm trying to say. Like, unexpected.
Okay. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But, okay, so here's for me. What I agree with that unpopular opinion, when it's especially a cop-out pregnancy, like just a way to make things more interesting for the book, you know? Or like in a romance book where everybody just wants that perfect happy baby ending, you know? Everybody married and a baby right off into the sunset. Because I like a happy ending, but I just don't, it doesn't always have to be that.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from somebody who has kids, you know? I've been pregnant. I don't really want to read about it. I'm good. But that's the type of books I don't read those types of books typically. So when it's thrown in there, usually by an author, sometimes it's like it's a cop-out. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah. To me, it's just not, like, part of the fantasy. Like, as someone with no kids who's chosen to be childless, to me, I'm like, it's just not part of the fantasy. Like, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what it is.
Yeah. Like, I just wanted to read about, like, a mafia guy kidnapping me. Like, I did not need this surprise pregnancy situation going on. No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it can be triggering too for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's another tricky thing. Not that stabbing can't be, but
Stabbing!
You know, and like sword fighting and beheading or whatever. But like, you know, obviously, you know, pregnancy can come with so many different feelings and emotions that can take you out of the book sometimes.
It's complex too, because I feel like if you're starting to talk about like mafia romance and stuff that gets a little bit more dark, then you end up with like more of like the breeding trope or kink, which can be a completely different thing. So I'd be curious to know, like, is that included or is it just surprise pregnancy? You know what I mean? Because they're very adjacent. I
think just in the like classic, I think we're getting too deep now. I think we're just talking, they're probably just talking like the, you know, just a classic basic pregnancy trope, you know? Oh, yeah, I fell in love and I'm pregnant now.
Yeah, it's just a little bit like, okay, great.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah. Well, anyways, we've moved past that. We want epic.
Yeah, we want something more interesting. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why in this particular series, when it happened, I was like surprised it didn't bother me. So, I don't know. It's very circumstantial, I guess. If I like the characters enough, I'll let it slide. Yeah.
Well, DM Liz if you want to know what the thing is and you don't care if it spoils something.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, okay. Next unpopular opinion is that you're reading about something, like I didn't phrase this very well when I was like taking my notes. Sorry, guys. You read about something and you enjoy it in a book, and that means that you must like similar things in real life.
Yeah.
No.
It's a book.
It's a book. Yeah, I feel like, sometimes that might be true, but most of the time it's probably not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I agree.
It's like, I don't know.
Wait, I don't agree. I agree with you.
Like,
I agree.
Like, who believes that? Who's like, oh, well, you only read books about X, Y, and Z because you just like that in real life.
Well, especially with dark romance we're talking about, you know, some people out there might be like, oh, that must be what you're into, you know, and it's like really dark context and, you know, and it's like, well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but here's the thing. If it's between two consenting adults, then be into whatever weird dark stuff you want to be into.
Yeah.
That's it, bottom line.
But just for the public to understand, doesn't mean they are into it, doesn't mean they are. Just, you can't make any assumptions, you know, about that in general.
Well, because there's books about literally everything. Like, just because I'm reading a book about something doesn't mean that, like, I even necessarily like that content. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might be reading about things that you find upsetting, but it's interesting or important. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like that logic is very flawed, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. What else you got?
Next one. Unpopular opinion. Miscommunication trope is terrible.
Is that an unpopular opinion?
I feel like that's a popular opinion. But again, just like the pregnancy thing, in our community, I feel like that's popular opinion.
Yeah.
Most of us agree.
Yeah.
Miscommunication is the worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. When we have all videos, you guys. We'll link all the videos that we discussed today in the description box and podcast episodes, because we have a whole episode about tropes that ick us out, tropes that we don't like, tropes that we do like, books, reading the tropes that we don't like, all those things. And miscommunication is high up there on the list of do not likes, because it's so frustrating.
So frustrating. I
don't want to be yelling at my book like that.
No.
You know?
No.
About that. When we both know, like the reader knows the characters are supposed to know, and they're just being idiots, and they're just not talking it outright, and you're just like, ah!
Yeah.
Although it's very realistic.
I mean,
maybe that's why I don't like it, because sometimes, but miscommunicate, it happens every day.
Yeah.
You know, miscommunication.
It's true, but
maybe that's why I don't want it. Like, I'm frustrated enough in life.
Yeah, like, we don't need to read about miscommunication and then experience it all the time, too. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, there's just something about when there's a major miscommunication going on in a book, though, that just makes me also kind of, like, dislike the characters. Like, hey, dummy, why don't you just call her on the phone and ask?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that would resolve this whole book, and then we wouldn't even have a book. I get it, you know?
Yeah.
But still, it's like, oh, I just can't stand it. I cannot.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're with you on that one.
Yeah.
Miscommunication. I want to know who likes miscommunication tropes.
Yeah, let us know.
Like, I just really love to read those books where they're not communicating properly.
Yeah, it's a good mix-up. I enjoy a good mix-up. I enjoy a good cringy, drawn-out miscommunication. I don't know. I can't. Yeah, but good for you. I mean, there's obviously lots of them out there.
Let us know what book.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, was there a good miscommunication book that you really enjoyed? Change our minds.
Yeah.
Change our minds about it.
We dare you.
We dare you.
Okay. All right, you're up.
All right, let's see. Characters. Okay, so this is unpopular opinion. Characters need to die if I'm supposed to believe it's a high-risk story. Important ones. I agree with that 100%. I'm like, is that an unpopular opinion? I don't know. I feel like, again, in our group of listeners and followers, it's like, we are like, if a book isn't ripping out your soul because someone important has died, then it's like not doing its job. You know?
Yeah, or at the very least, you know, there's a popular series that we read that they didn't, and people are severely injured, though, you know? Or they have a lot of ability.
Yeah.
So there was a very popular book recently that was just, it just made us so mad, because it's like, this is supposed to be these crazy battles, and even though we don't want one of them to die, somebody should be dying.
Yeah.
Or two, especially because they're fairly untrained, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So, like, it completely makes the storyline inauthentic when they're just they're basically trying not to hurt the reader's feelings. And I kind of want my feelings to be hurt sometimes.
I mean,
when I'm reading these books.
I feel like
you want to be riveted.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like books that I usually rate a 5 star, it's because they did hurt my feelings. Like, they made me, like, you know, they made me feel something.
Yeah.
I think
exactly
more so than no one dying, what bothers me is when they throw in some random character who's not really important and then kill them. I'm like, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
You're like, oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Move on. Oh, that's what happened in that same book.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I just remembered.
Yeah, it's like a scapegoat. It bugs me.
Yes.
It's totally, like, I would rather no one died, because now I feel like you tried to get us in the feels. Yeah. And it just pissed me off.
Yeah, exactly. Felt completely flat.
Yeah.
So I guess we're just a brutal bunch of booksters over here, because we're like, let someone important die.
Yeah.
But within reason, you know, like, think it through.
Yeah.
You gotta let someone go.
Yeah. I feel like there's a way to do that is tactful and
I'm so many like are flashing through my head.
Same.
You know, I was gonna get
I feel like there's a way to do it.
But that makes it stick with you. Sorry to interrupt. But it like like the fact that I can recall these moments, you know, in reading makes the book stick with you. Yeah. Even though you don't want them to die.
Yeah. But
makes it more empowering and powerful and everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, I feel like there's a way to do it in a way that, yeah, just really pulls on your heartstrings and really like makes you remember and appreciate that character even more. As opposed to like, I feel like for instance, if you're a Game of Thrones watcher or reader, it's like those deaths can be so sudden and abrupt that it's like, obviously they get you in the feels, but then at the same time, it's like almost so shocking. You have a hard time like even registering what's going on. So I feel like there's a good like balance there, like to have. Yeah. But just don't give me a cop out character and then kill him. Ugh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I think we have a couple more.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. Hockey romance. Why is it a thing?
So we're not your girls to ask this question to.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't know. Do you know, Ashley? Do you know why it's a thing? I don't know why.
I don't know. I've actually known like several hockey players in my day. Not professional, but like, you know, semi.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
They're just, you know, whatever.
Okay, here's my 2 cents. Having never read a hockey romance before, okay? So
no, neither have I.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've never read... I'm like trying to think. I don't think I've ever read a sports romance in general. Like, not because I don't want to. It's just when I go to pick a book off my TBR, they just get bumped to the bottom so fast.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself, like, try a hockey romance. Try another kind of sports romance. Like, because you might end up really liking it, right? It's like, what have we learned? Read things outside of your comfort zone. You might end up really enjoying them. Yeah.
What have we learned, children?
I know. I bought Icebreaker because so many of you guys suggested it. I've been meaning to read that, but it just keeps getting bumped. But this is my thing, okay? This is my assumption, because I don't know, because again, I've never read a hockey romance, but I think it would be easy to, like, the line between or from like a hockey player to like a guy who's super, super intense, borderline violent might be close.
Oh,
do you see what I'm saying? So I think it's one of those things to where it's...
Because why is it hockey in particular?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's kind of like that reputation for...
They're kind of gruff.
For being, gruff, really kind of... Yeah, I mean, it could be a violent sport. Like, they're kind of intense, whatever. I think that, you know, the Venn diagram between... like hockey, the pipeline Venn diagram. You guys know what we're trying to say between like hockey player and sorry to hockey players if this is inaccurate. These are literally just my conjectures from nothing. From hockey player to, let's say, super overbearing, intense in a good way. Let's say, like, you know, stalkery boyfriend might be close.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are my 2 cents.
You're going to have to do a book science experiment.
I know. We do. So. We need to, if I am going down, you're going down with me, okay? Like, we're going to have to
So whoever sent that in has to do it too.
So, hockey romance, why is it a thing? We don't know, but maybe that's why. Maybe you guys could let us know why. Why is hockey romance a thing? Why do you like reading about it? Like, please tell us.
Maybe you're onto something.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe you're far off.
Because it's like, I don't know, in the grand scheme of, like, professional athletes, when I think of, like, hot... Hockey is not what comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like not it. Like baseball is what would come to my mind. Like in their cute little outfits, but they're like, is there baseball romance? I don't know.
I've seen sports romances for everything, but it's hockey in particular that's like blowing up right now.
Super popular. Yeah, exactly.
So there's something about it. We'll have to figure out one day. We'll report back.
A man on ice skates.
A man on wheels.
On ice skates. There's nothing more irresistible. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't think it's the uniform.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because it's like, aren't uniforms a thing? And it's like, in the grand scheme of uniforms, is hockey really the best you got?
Because it's like these weird, it's not even like, when football uniforms, they look like, but hockey's like, they have weird padding like everywhere, but then the flowy tops and then the little helmets. It's weird. So it's not that, I don't think. Maybe. It's not.
I like how we're just like we're trying to figure it out. It's like we're trying to be like hockey detectives. Like, what is it about this? that does it
I know
for
there's
y'all.
there has to be another podcast out there of some girls like trying to figure out what's the appeal of the fae.
Yeah.
And their pointy ears.
It's true.
And these dark romance ladies and these fantasy dragon ladies. Like, what? I don't
Dragon
get it.
ladies.
So,
It's it's powers. That's it. It's Shadow Daddy powers. What is your
It's all
what
the
does your
things,
hockey
baby.
player have?
I know.
Like seriously,
What does he have
explain.
other than a missing front tooth? Like, come on.
What does he
It pops
have?
in and out. He could take it in and out whenever he
I'm
wants.
telling you, it's gotta have something to do with like an anger problem. I'm telling you, it's gotta be like something to do with like an
Possessive,
anger. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It has to be.
Like, he's possessive of the puck. He's possessive of his girl.
It's like, oh my god, it's like an SNL sketch.
Oh my gosh, when you see that.
So hockey romance, we don't know why it's a thing, but let us know.
Yeah, you guys let us know, and
Yeah.
once we're ready to tackle it, we'll do a video on it, a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, we will, and
We
we'll
figured out
we'll take
why
you with
hockey
us.
romance is a thing, or not. Yeah,
Or not. Yeah. Okay,
we still don't get it. Okay.
Let's see. So we've got two more, I think. Okay, so fantasy books having magic but no technology loses me. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So I am almost opposite of that, if that makes sense. Like, I like it when fantasy books have a lot of magic but less technology, because then it tends to be more of like on the medieval fantasy side as opposed to like the urban fantasy side. I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes if there's so much technology, it almost seems like less magical to me, which makes no sense, but that's just how my brain works. But I can see what they mean. Like, if magic exists, then obviously, like, why would they still be living in medieval times? Like, why wouldn't they use it to their advantage to have technology?
Well, things take time, baby.
Yeah.
Things take time.
Maybe.
You gotta start somewhere. We started with the wheel, so we just finally have phones. So, hey. I guess we're not working with magic, so it's hard to compare.
I'm literally going to spit my water out. We started with the wheel, and now we have phones. And that's the end of our assessment.
So human history.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
An oral history of the humans.
Wheel to iPhone. Therefore, it might take them a while to come up with the technology, even if they have magic. Also, what kind of magic? You know? There's so many different kinds of magic.
I think just you might be looking for, urban fantasy books. Don't read the other ones. I really, so I do enjoy both, but I lean towards more medieval style magic and fantasy, less technology, because I just enjoy it. Once there's too much technology, I like Crescent City is a good example of just the right amount of technology.
Yeah.
That it's pretty much modern day. They talk about a little bit of things that we would, encounter in our real life, but not to the point where it's like too fixated on, because that's what will pull me out. If they're trying to be too modern, I think
that's what it is.
Usually.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't want to read a contemporary, like, a book that if I'm wanting to read a fantasy book, lots of times it's not because I'm looking to read something contemporary. Like, yeah.
But I understand what they're saying. Like, why can't they figure it out? But look at the case of the bean, okay? People were up in arms about that. The bean. I don't want to say what book. There's a bean. If you know the bean that changes languages, okay, you swallow the bean.
Oh, I was like,
so that's a technology thing that like pulled people out, you know?
Yeah,
in that way.
Totally.
I didn't have a problem with it, but a lot of people had a problem with the bean.
I know. I'm picturing like Jack and the Beanstalk. I'm like, that bean? Like, what are you talking about?
That technology shoots right up to the giant.
I know. I was like, I felt like it was fine.
It was fine. It was all right.
It was fine. Oh, man.
Yeah, so unpopular opinion. I think you should never share a major spoiler of a book, no matter warning or not. Minor, okay.
I think it's fine to share spoilers if you give a warning.
Yeah, with like enough warning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. We're done with that. That's it.
I see what they're saying, but then at the same time, like, I feel like then we wouldn't be able to discuss books on
anything.
here.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I wouldn't be able to give, like, reading updates or, because I wouldn't be able to spoil anything.
Like,
and
you shouldn't just go on your stories or post a ending of a book right there without giving people, like, I like when people do, if they're going to talk about a book and slides on an Instagram post, they'll always start with, spoiler for this book and then slide,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
your stories upcoming. Well, it's hard to do even stories because sometimes you could click on that and then later click on their stories and see it. So
I try
there's
to put
different
it
ways
at the
to
top.
hide it. Yeah.
I try to put it at the top, like in red, like spoilers below. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like
that's good.
all of my like reviews are spoiler free. So I'm into that. I'm into writing spoiler free reviews specifically because of the fact that I feel like I want people to be able to read the review to decide if they want to read the book or not, and they can't do that if it's got spoilers all in it.
Yeah, but that's that side. But then the side of us that we need to talk about the book with somebody.
Yeah,
that's then that's where we come in and. Never give a spoiler away. Like you said, we wouldn't even have a podcast. But I feel like we do enough warning, Yeah. The first 15 to 30 minutes, spoiler free, and we're going to make a weird sound to let you know. And we're going to say it multiple times. Get out of here if you don't want a spoiler. So then it's on you if you get spoiled. But never? Yeah, that's a little...
I think mine are okay. I also feel like by saying minor spoilers are okay, that also leaves that very well, and it leaves it open to a lot of interpretation because what's minor to me might not be minor to you, and vice versa. So then it's like kind of a little bit gray area, confusing.
That's why I think it's just better to you can give spoilers as long as you give an adequate warning. Yeah, and let people know. Yeah, in my opinion, that's what I think. But that's not their opinion. I don't agree with it. That's mine. There you go.
That's totally fine. All right. So I feel like we got through quite a few of them today. So that's exciting.
Thank you guys so much for taking time to submit those to us. We really appreciate it. And look out for the future because this won't be the only one. And we'll post it again. And if there's something that we need to talk about this, you can send it our way. Unpopular opinions.
Yes. Love it. All right, so we should sign off with our Smash or Pass, our Unhinged Smash or Pass of the week. So do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first this week?
I'll go first this week.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's go. So the movie Brave.
Yeah.
Merida?
Yeah.
Her dad.
Smash.
Oh!
He's like a Viking. He's like a Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost his leg in this crazy bear fight. Yeah, Smash through and through.
He has a good balance of character too, because he's silly, he's funny, he's great with his kids. He listens to Merida for the most part. He lets her train. He does, all those makings of a good man.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah,
and he can take down a freaking bear.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jeez.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, so so that's good. I'm glad that we know where we stand on that. Yeah. I feel like he's going to be popular in the Smasher Passes for sure. All right, so mine is a bit different.
Okay.
Mine isn't as straightforward. Okay. Smash or pass Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast. Okay. If you're a candlestick or a duster specifically.
Oh. Pass.
You're still passing even if you're a candlestick?
Yeah, he comes on a little too strong.
That's true. It
icks me out. I never like that. Cool your jets. Douse your flames a little.
That's exactly how I feel too. It's that and French accent for me. I cannot.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me.
It doesn't do it for me either. But I appreciate that the duster loves him so much because she's also really intense, and they make a perfect little couple.
They do, and I wouldn't want to get between a duster and her candle. It's an explosive relationship.
It is. It really is.
It's very dangerous. They're living against all odds. Oh.
I love it.
Let's read that spin-off retelling.
Oh my gosh. It's a dark romance, but it's about the candlestick and the duster. and their life together.
Yeah.
What would it be about? Someone write that.
The title of the book would be Living Life on the Flame or something. I don't know. Living life on the edge, but on the flame.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh,
just by a whisper of a dust by the flame. I don't know.
In another life, we'll make sure to write that story. Or someone else should write
Tale
it.
of two hats. Beaver in a hat.
Oh, man. That's a play we did write, guys. Maybe someday we'll share it with you. Maybe someday. What was I going to say? Right. Oh, was it you that nominated Book of G, though, for July Book Club?
Yes.
Okay, so that's definitely in the nomination, so that's good. But that's about Gaston, so it's a little bit more normal. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up winning. I need to post the vote. But anyways, before I get off on another tangent, I feel like that about wraps it up for today. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much. Before you go, make sure to hit that little follow button anywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcast, and come over to YouTube and subscribe to us on YouTube. Unless you're already here, then you can just tap subscribe, and find us on Instagram and TikTok at Besties the Books Pod, so you can participate in these crazy Unhinged Smash or Pass polls, send us unpopular opinions, do all the things, or just lurk. Just be a lurker.
Yeah,
Lurkers,
that's fine too.
Okay,
we appreciate the lurkers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, and
thank you.
We will
see you next Tuesday.
Bye. Bye.